Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome into the video. So we got some important things to get to in this one. So starting out, we're going to go over quickly what played out last week and then get into some important seasonality data, the exact time and price that I'm watching for the next potential market top to play out, where downside can start once again. Then we're going to be going over a bunch of individual trade ideas for the week and weeks ahead. Let's go ahead and get on into it. So starting out, taking a look at the big technical picture of the market, we saw a lot of volatility last week, though not much has changed. The S&P continues to hold above the 4,100 level, and as long as that holds, buyers are in charge of the trend. At the same time, though, it attempted to break out of the range twice and rejected both times after failing to hold the higher high. So to keep things simple for the week ahead, we should expect a directional move very soon now, as there is a ton of built up energy in this consolidation range. If buyers are able to break and hold above last week's highs at 4190, that would start the next breakout with main targets above at 4200, 4220, and then 4250, which is the biggest resistance level. For any real sell and downside to start, this would need to break and hold below 4100, which would likely then visit 4060 at the minimum, and then likely 4040 and 4000 to 4010 below there. So unless things change with that break below 4100, my personal expectation would be that this breaks out higher next and sees a move up to around 4250 on the breakout, which is that white trend line that marked the two previous tops for the market. This is my personal expectation for a couple reasons. Number one is just watching price action. Bears have had plenty of opportunity to follow through to the downside, and this market is still in the buy the dip mindset. And number two is market seasonality is still bullish until late April/early May. So let's take a quick look at that. So looking at the seasonality chart, the market has followed this pretty much to a T so far in 2023. Historically, there is a seasonal high in mid-February that drops until the seasonal low in mid-March before a big rally that puts another seasonal high at the start of May. This year we've gotten that mid-February high, which resulted in a near 400-point drop, and then the seasonal low in March, which has so far resulted in a 350-point move off of the low. So based on what we've seen so far, this rally probably does have a little bit more juice in it for maybe 2 weeks or so before another top comes for the market, and around 4250, if the S&P gets there, is the biggest spot that I would be watching for it. So along with this, we have the first full week of earnings season this week, including important reports from Netflix, Tesla, ASML, and Taiwan Semiconductor to watch closely. Bulk of earnings reports, including big tech, are going to be reporting in the last week of April and the first week of May, which will be the real market movers. So my opinion on these reports is we will probably see mostly inline numbers for Q1, but the big question is, how is the guide for Q2? Are recessionary effects coming into play now for these companies? And if so, we will see a lot of guide downs for Q2, which would be very bearish for the market as a whole and line up with that potential thesis of the market topping in early May around that 4250 zone for SPY. So now getting into some individual stocks and trade ideas for the week ahead, starting with Google stock. So we talked about this one last week as a great looking long setup after the breakout above 105 to 106.5 zone and expected it to retest that as support, which it did exactly this past week and had a strong follow through after being able to hold it as new support. So now I'm watching for upside follow through from this if it can hold above 109.2 from here, with next main upside targets above at the 110.85 gap fill, 113.36, and then 118 above there. So Tesla stock is another that I'm watching for trade opportunities this week as a post-earnings play after they report on Wednesday after the bell. Taking a look at the big picture of the stock, it broke below this multi-year wedge pattern in November, had a large move to the downside, and now has returned to just below the wedge. So the big question with this stock now is this current move off lows just a relief bounce before continued downside, or can it break to the upside and re-enter this long-term wedge? I think we will see a large move one way or the other this week, as it has been in this consolidation pattern between 163 and 217 since the end of January, and these large consolidation patterns always resolve in big directional moves for the stock. So the bull case here would be that it's set up in an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which it can see an explosive move up if it breaks to the upside. For this move to play out and to trade this to the upside, the major level that I'm watching for is at 200.7. This has been the key upside pivot for a while now, as it rejected from this level 3 times in March before attempting to break out, which ended up failing back below and started a strong sell down. So for upside to play out, Tesla needs a break and hold above that 200.7 level. So on the downside, the biggest level that I'm watching is at 163, which is key support of the right shoulder in this pattern. A break and hold below there would start a leg lower for the stock and likely target the gap fill at 146.5 below. So to keep things simple this week, I'm watching Tesla as a play for upside above 200.7 and a play for downside below 163 depending on which way it breaks. For earnings, the options market is pricing in a close to 8% move for this stock, so we will likely see a substantial directional move either way this coming week. So now taking a look at Amazon stock, this is a great looking setup here as it's been flagging for a full month and the major moving averages, the 50 and 200 day, are getting very tight, which usually results in big directional moves. So Amazon needs to break above the 200-day moving average to open up real upside, as that is the level that marks tops in all previous other rallies. The bull case would play out something like this: retest of 104.38 to 105 resistance, maybe initial rejection there before a break above, which can then send it to a test of the 200-day. From there, that 104.38 to 105 zone can act as new support, put in a possible higher low there before starting the real breakout above the 200-day moving average, which would start a much larger reversal to the upside if that holds and plays out. So a sector that I'm watching very closely overall right now is the semiconductor sector with ticker symbol SMH. So this is set up in a 4-month long rising wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern, and inside this wedge it is also forming a smaller time frame head and shoulders pattern. So technicals are pointing towards that semiconductors will take a fall soon, and fundamentals are also backing this up, such as the headline that Apple Mac sales have fallen over 40% year over year. So along with this wedge, SMH is clinging onto the 50-day moving average as support as well, currently at 248.35. A break and close below there would likely trigger the breakdown for this sector and be a play that I'm watching for as a short, along with Nvidia and some other individual semi stocks in the sector. So that is everything that I'm watching for in the week ahead. As things are looking right now, it does look likely that the market sees one more leg higher like we were talking about, but if that 4100 level does break, the downside could come much quicker than expected. So that is one thing that I'm watching very closely, along with the start of major earnings reports this week. Should be a nice week of trading, so good luck to everybody this week. For anybody interested in joining the private Discord chat, that is the first link down in the description to get my personal trade alerts, nightly watch list, and I will answer any questions you have in there. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I will catch you all next time. Good luck trading this week, and peace out.